Hey, good morning, it's Owen, Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. If you've recently bought a home in the last 2 or 3 years, or you're in the market looking for a home right now, you'll know that getting that mortgage approval from your lending institution wasn't easy. It's gotten a lot more difficult the last 3 or 4 years to qualify for a home in Vancouver or Richmond. And since 2008, the federal government has made 4 major changes to the lending requirements. 4, which is quite a bit. The main ones, several years back, they reduced amortization. You used to be able to get a 35-year mortgage. They reduced that down to 25 years. The other thing was when you're qualifying for the mortgage, you have to qualify at a 5-year term rate. Even if you're maybe going with a variable rate, you have to qualify for the mortgage at the 5-year term, which is going to be more expensive. They've definitely require a lot more paperwork for people that are self-employed, investors, first-time buyers, a lot more hurdles to go through to get qualified for a mortgage these days. The federal government's doing everything they can the last 5 years to try and slow our housing market down. It's worked a bit, although the market's been back up since last summer. I often wonder if they were to remove some of these, take some of these brakes off their system here and go back to what we had a few years ago, I think that the market would really take off. But the other things that you need to be aware of and keep an eye on is it's important to get, and I blogged about this before, the difference between getting pre-approved and pre-qualified. Now, pre-qualified is just a simple phone call to your bank or your mortgage broker. They'll ask you a few questions about your income, and then they'll let you know what you can qualify for. But that's just a preliminary step. Pre-qualifying doesn't really hold any water. It's pre-approval that you need to get, and that's when you actually set up an appointment with your bank or your mortgage broker, and you're going to need to bring in things like your T4 slips and proof of income, assets, and that kind of thing. So you're going to have to fill out some paperwork, and that's going to take an hour or so, and then you'll get word back from your bank 2 or 3 days later. Usually they want more information, and it can take a week or two. So that's being pre-approved, and you always want to get pre-approved before you even go out and look at homes. You need to know what you can afford and what you're qualified for. That way there's no surprises later on when you decide you want to put an offer in. But it is getting a lot more difficult to get approved for a mortgage these days. And again, especially for first-time buyers, investors, you definitely want to get pre-approved before you get out there. I've also heard lately in the last few years a lot of ugly stories about people who bought pre-sale condos. And again, here's another one we can add to the pile that keeps growing on why it doesn't make any sense to be buying a pre-construction condo these days. But it went like this. People back in 2011, 2012 bought a pre-sale, laid down their 5, 10, 15, 20% deposit. Now they're getting ready to complete. The building is finished. A lot of mortgage change, things have happened with the mortgage qualifying in the last couple of years. They go to complete on the unit and lock in their mortgage. And all of a sudden they find out now that they can't qualify for that mortgage. They could 2 years ago, but now that the pre-construction unit is finished, all of a sudden everything's changed. So now they've got a $30,000 or a $40,000 deposit at stake and they can't complete. It can be a horror story. So another reason why pre-construction, buying a pre-sale condo that's not going to be finished for 3 years, a lot of things can happen in that 3 years, especially when it comes to your financing. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.